If modern heating systems are so advanced, why do houses get cold so fast when the power goes out? That question bothers a lot of people once they experience their first winter blackout. Now, compare that to the 1940s, when families endured long winters, wartime fuel shortages and rationing, yet entire households stayed warm with just a fraction of the energy we burn today. No smart thermostats, no insulation foam trucks, no constant electricity. What they relied on instead was a heating philosophy that modern construction largely abandoned. And once you understand it, it becomes pretty obvious why today's homes struggle to compete. During World War II, heat wasn't something you wasted. Coal, wood, and oil were precious. Heating had to be intentional. Homes were designed around the idea that once heat was created, it needed to be held, guided, and reused, not constantly replaced. That mindset is the real 1940s heating trick, and it starts with how houses were built, not with the heater itself. Why heat retention mattered more than heat production in 1940s homes. Most 1940s homes were built with materials that naturally absorbed and stored warmth. Thick plaster walls, brick fireplaces, masonry foundations, and dense wood framing acted as thermal mass. When heated, these materials didn't immediately cool down. They released warmth slowly over hours, even after the fire or furnace burned low. Modern drywall construction lacks this quality. It warms quickly but loses heat just as fast. In practical terms, a 1940s home stayed warm overnight because the house itself was part of the heating system. Today's homes depend almost entirely on continuous heat input to maintain comfort. How gravity heating quietly outperformed modern forced air systems. One of the most overlooked heating advantages of the 1940s was gravity-based heat circulation. Heat sources were placed low in the structure, often in basements or ground floors. As warm air rose naturally, it travelled upward through open staircases, hallways, and transom windows above doors. This required no electricity and no mechanical assistance. Warm air moved because physics demanded it. Cold air fell back down to be reheated, creating a slow, steady circulation loop. In contrast, modern forced air systems rely on powered fans. When electricity fails, heat distribution collapses, even if a heat source is still available. Why smaller rooms and deliberate layouts made homes easier to heat. 1940s homes were not built around vast open spaces. Rooms were smaller, ceilings were lower, and doors actually served a purpose beyond privacy. Closing off unused rooms reduced heat loss dramatically. Families, focused on heating living spaces, not just empty square footage. This approach allowed a single stove or furnace to maintain comfort where it mattered most. Modern open-plan designs, while they do look impressive, are actually thermally inefficient. How windows were treated as heat tools instead of heat leaks. Window management was, an unspoken heating skill in the 1940s. During daylight hours, curtains were opened to allow sunlight to warm floors, walls, and furniture. That stored heat, slowly released into the room as temperatures dropped. At night, heavy drapes were closed to block radiant heat loss through glass. Some households even layered curtains for extra insulation. This daily rhythm turned windows into passive heating devices by day and thermal barriers by night, all without consuming fuel. How modern homeowners can apply this forgotten heating logic today. You don't need to rebuild your house to use 1940s heating principles. Start by identifying thermal mass. Brick walls, concrete floors, stone fireplaces, and even thick tile can store heat. Allow these surfaces to warm during the day and avoid rapid cooling at night. Encourage vertical air movement. If your home has multiple levels, allow warm air to rise naturally by keeping stairwells open. Small, low-energy fans can be used sparingly to assist airflow, but the goal is to work with gravity, not override it. Zone your home intentionally. Close doors to rooms you don't use daily. Concentrate heating where people spend time. Upgrade window treatments before upgrading heaters. Heavy curtains or insulated drapes can make a noticeable difference in winter heat retention. Open them during sunny hours and close them as temperatures drop. Why this approach matters deeply for preparedness and resilience. The 1940s heating mindset functions during fuel shortages, grid failures, and extended outages. It doesn't rely on constant inputs or fragile systems. For survivalists and off-grid thinkers, this approach provides warmth stability instead of heat spikes followed by rapid loss. In emergency conditions, generating heat is only half the challenge. Retaining it safely and efficiently is what keeps people alive through long nights and cold stretches. Why modern construction struggles to match this without rethinking design? Modern homes prioritize speed, aesthetics, and space. Thin walls, lightweight materials, and open layouts shed heat quickly. No amount of technology can fully compensate for a structure that was never designed to hold warmth. The lesson from the 1940s isn't about going backward. It's about respecting physics. Heat behaves the same now as it did then. Homes designed to cooperate with that reality will always outperform those that don't. If this deep dive into forgotten heating wisdom helped you see modern homes differently, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more serious, research-driven history and survival content. Share this video with anyone interested in preparedness, resilience, and the practical lessons hiding in plain sight within the past.